Alright guys, so you just saw me draw my file there in Fusion 360. We're going to be moving this new file over to my actual CNC computer that I do all my drawings on. And there's our old version, so we're going to start a new job and get this going. I'll throw you guys on time lapse real quick, knock this out, and we'll get to cutting this guy and see how it fits. As you guys saw, I drew up that file here in SheetCam, got the G-code all knocked out. Here it is in FireShare. We're going to go ahead and rip this one out. Instead of me doing the little cardboard design, I feel pretty confident in my drawing here. So if you're wearing headphones, heads up because it'll get loud real quick. So here we go. Alright, we got a frame rail bumper bracket cut out here. Let me let this guy cool off for a couple minutes. I'll deburr, and then we'll test fit it on the Grand Cherokee real quick while we still have some sunlight. I'll probably end up leaving the Jeep here with the trailer. I'll just hook them up together and park them, and then come down in the morning, mess with it. Hopefully it won't be raining tomorrow. We can knock all of this stuff out. I can get it tacked up and at least load the Jeep and the truck up, and then take the welder home, burn everything at the house along with the end caps that we cut earlier in the day. Get these cleaned up too, and get these all mounted. So yep, give me a couple minutes guys, we'll clean this up and see how she is. That would be her right on the money. So now I've got to cut an inner plate and weld some nuts to that. That way I can bolt that through, or I can just stick a couple 1/2-inch bolts in there and let it sit for a second and then tack it up. That'll work. Alright, cool. Now that I know that will work, I'll probably rip these out of 1/4 inch and then cut this guy down, and then we'll start test fitting everything up. Once we get things test fitted, tacked up, I'll probably set the winch in here, see if I need to remove this tab that holds the grill. I hope not. I'd like to keep that in there, or I'll just have to make some tabs to hold the grill in place, or zip tie it, or whatever. But I'll put a couple gussets underneath it, and then I'm gonna have to figure out about my little skid plate, rock plate, whatever you want to call it. I want to be able to access it so I can reach up underneath the winch plate, still unbolt it and service it if need be. So there we have it guys, one step closer. My battery's getting low on the DSLR, so give me 1 second. Alright, so I've got a lot of stuff filmed today. I'll probably call it a day, honestly. I've got to charge this battery up, it's getting low, and it's honestly getting late, and I'm not going to be able to do much more when the sun goes down. So now that I know that guy will fit, I'll probably stop by the store in the morning, grab some 1/2-inch hardware, and maybe I'll make the inner plate. I'm definitely going to have to cut the face right there out, right there, that little guy. That's definitely going to have to be cut out so I can slide a plate in there to at least bolt it up. And then I'll put, you know, a couple bolts in there, or at least 2 bolts, and then weld the rest of it to the unit chassis, or unirail, whatever you want to call it. I gotta weld the seams on the either side of there too, because both of those guys, they are still open from when I cut the bumper down. There's a lot more to be done, but I think I'll probably just call it a video right now, and I'll film this up, bring my charger to work, and I'll be ready to at least cut out both plates with the 1/4 inch, and we can cut down the winch plate, bring everything home, and start part 2. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. Deuces. We are out here, day 2. I've got the Jeep pulled up in the spot where she was yesterday. I went ahead and opened up my unirails right there, and I've got the plate that we cut out on the table last night bolted up, well, just mocked up. The bolts are actually slipped in. Last night when I was doing my editing, I noticed that these guys were off just a tiny little bit, so I went ahead and just made these holes just a tiny bit longer. I'll show you guys on the computer, but I've got her bolted up, mocked up. 3 of the holes line up fantastic. It's just this one guy, so I was like, whatever, I'll just make him on all 4 to make my life easy, so that way I can cut them out for both sides. And I grabbed a ton of hardware from Home Depot. That's all squared away. So let's go back up here. Sorry about that. I'm fixing my zoom because it's on the wide angle right now. So you guys can see there is the new frame rail bracket, and what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be actually cutting 2 of these guys, so I can send my torch back to home and can set this guy back to 1 and then generate 2 here. I know it's a little difficult for you guys to see, but we'll do this. So that will let me cut 2 identical ones. I've already got my torch all squared away and everything squared up on the table. And this is the 1/4 inch plate that I'm going to be using. So I'm gonna go ahead and run these guys. We'll cut these ones out. I feel confident that these are ready to get ripped out. And then let me show you guys on my laptop real quick. I drew up inner plates, and I believe these guys are gonna work well. So let me go here. These are the inner plates. I've already test fitted that plate that's out on the Jeep inside the rail, and it lines up nicely. And I grabbed some grade 8 hardware, like I said, with some nuts, so I'll be able to weld those nuts to the plating once I get it cut out, and I can slip those inside the unirail and then bolt them too. And then that's something that I can put online on my website, so you guys can pick this up if you want to make just a simple bolt-on D-ring kit where you can pull your bumper off, cut out the face of your bumper, cut out the little styrofoam, cut that out, slip the plate in there, and that can extrude, and you can just put a D-ring on both sides. Or you can do what I'm doing, the winch plate here, you can get that from Harbor Freight, cut that down and then fit that in between like I'm about to do. So let me rip these guys out on the table real quick. I'll film that for you guys, and then once that's done, I'm going to probably rip out the inner plates, but I'm going to move that up here in this area so that way I can save some of this plate. I want to be able to use half of this plate for some of the stuff that I do, obviously for, you know, work and for whenever I'm doing stuff for customers. But that is the game plan there. Sorry for rambling. Let's get to work. Well, we've got them cut out. I had a issue with my consumables in my torch. One of my tips was going bad, and I had to change that out in the middle of the video. But I got one cleaned up, and I got it mounted on there, and it looks real good. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this other one up, knock all the slag off of it, and then I'll mount that guy up. From there, we'll cut down that winch plate, and we'll see how this thing freaking fits up. So ignore that I only have 3 bolts on each side. That's all they had at the hardware store when I was grabbing these guys, but that fits up quite nicely. I'm pretty happy with that. Zoom out a little bit there. You guys can see the hardware. Now I just got to cut the other plates, tack those nuts on, slip those plates in there, bolt them up, and then should be good to go from there. Be able to slip that winch plate in there. I got to pull out my big bandsaw and then cut that down, and yep, we'll be about set. Just got to do a little bit of trimming, and then I'm gonna need my actual floor jack and a couple blocks to hold this up in place, set my level on it, and then set the winch on it, and then from there I'll kind of be able to figure out where I want to keep it. So that is that, but it got dark on me. I had to work a little bit later than I planned. My boss had a few things that I had to do, and we had to get out to powder coat by this afternoon. So unfortunately, I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to, like tacking this up here at the house and then cutting my mounting plates for my roof rack, because I still want to be able to mount the roof rack, get my spare tire. I've got so much stuff to do, so this weekend is going to just be crammed full of footage and me working on all of this nonsense. So right now what I'm going to do is pack up my welder, all of my gear, throw it into the ZJ. I've got the Cummins back here, hook hooked up with the trailer. I'm gonna load the ZJ up, bring it home, and then I'm gonna try to knock this stuff out at the house. And then maybe I'll come down Sunday evening and cut out my roof rack plates, or my roof rack clamps. And then from there, we should be about done. The locker showed up today. I'm gonna also weld the rear diff. So we've got a lot to do. I gotta shut up. Let me get cleaning up.